Good evening, everybody. How's your day? Have you been? How's the month been? The month's about ending, and I believe that we've had a glorious month. Today's another edition of School of Parenting online conversation. I'm excited that it's another conversation, another discussion. If you're online, if you're watching, I want you, like we always do, you can let me know by dropping your best emoji or dropping a hi or something on the comment box. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Now, quickly, we're going to be looking at a very sensitive topic, which has to do with inculcating the reading culture in your child or inculcating reading culture in your children. It is said that a reading nation is an informed nation. Now, I would want to ask if we believe Nigeria is a reading nation. Now, if you do believe, you can drop that also in the comment box. Do you believe Nigeria is a reading nation? Now, we would say that Nigeria is not really a reading nation because if you look at our younger generation, you find out that most of them do not really read. Most of them do not really have the culture of reading. Most of the people in our younger generations, they don't have the affinity or they do not love books, and they do not take reading books as a pleasurable experience. They prefer to get involved in social media. They prefer to get involved in maybe playing of games, watching of TV, or maybe doing some other things apart from reading. So we can actually say probably Nigeria is not really a reading nation, but we are here to change the narrative. You and I, as parents, we can change the narrative. We can decide that we want a change, and it begins, like I always say, it begins from the family. So if we decide today that we're going to cultivate the habit of reading in our children, in ourselves, gradually we begin to see the effect in our society and begin to see it in our nation. And that is why we are talking about this evening. It's very important. That's why we're going to be having this conversation. And it's said that reading culture has to do with the learned practice of seeking knowledge, information, or entertainment from written words, from books. And there's statistics that say that about 40% of Nigeria adults have not been able to complete a fiction book after formal education. Wow, what an information. There's also a statistics that says, after some studies were carried out, that about 30 million Nigeria secondary school graduates leave secondary school with poor reading skills and abilities. It shows the state of our nation. Also, the World Culture Score Index rated Nigeria as one of the countries with the lowest reading culture. We can change the narrative as parents. We can. And that is why this conversation is critical. And I believe that parents here, we're going to learn a lot. Thank you. Very Christian Ahmed is actually online. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And he says Nigeria is not yet a reading nation, just a few percent of people really read, and that's true. So today we're having a professional come join us for this conversation. I'm going to read her profile quickly. She's an educational psychologist and reading interventionist. We have a professional here today. School of Art Decor consultant, founder of Deep Smart Zone Reading Club for Children, a content creator, passion-driven about creating research-based reading resources, and an amazing mom of 4 children. So please join me today as I welcome to this edition of SOP Online Conversation, Tonbara, Adepeju, Ibulubo. Please, I want to see some excitement. on the comment. Please, let's be excited. Welcome. I am excited. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us this evening for this conversation. I'm just trying to give the statistics. Some research have been carried out to show that Nigeria is actually a nation with a poor reading culture. And like I said, we can actually change the narrative. Change begins
Definitely.
from, yes, we can change the narrative just for us to be decisive as parents and start. Gradually, we begin to see a change in our families, in our societies, and the nation at large. So you're welcome. We are glad you are here because we believe that to be informed,
Thank
Today we'll
you.
be educated, entertained. Yes, I'm excited. And I believe everybody that is watching right now and those that will later watch this video, definitely they're going to learn something that will be impactful and make their families and their children better people. Thank you so much. So quickly, we're just going to go into the conversation. How was your day?
It was hectic but fine. Hectic but fine.
Very good.
It's fine. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna first of all start. You are an amazing mom of four children. How easy or how easy was it for you to be able to inculcate in them a reading culture? How easy was it that you just woke up one day and all of a sudden your children just developed the habit of reading? And some parents believe that it comes naturally, so the children just develop it along the way. Was it that easy? How easy was it for you?
Okay, well, before I answer that question, I'd like to explain what it means when we say inculcating the reading culture in children. It simply means that we're trying to create value, allow them to know that books have value, and also creating an environment that actively engages children in reading and then making those books available for them. Yes, so back to your question now. I would say that it was easy. It was not a difficult task. Neither was it a rocket science because what I initially thought I was trying to create a bond with my children, like doing read aloud with them, bedtime stories, and gradually it turned them into passionate readers. Now, what did I do? What did I do differently? I read books to them. I made books available at home to them, and then I read books as well. So there's this theory in psychology we call the social learning theory. Now, this theory simply explains that children learn by observation and imitation. So over time, they learned this reading behavior by being constantly exposed to the reading environment. They saw a model, someone actually reading, and they didn't see it as a chore. So gradually and naturally, and that is why I said it was not a difficult task because it happened naturally. For me, it was just natural. And from the first to the second to the third, and then the fourth, they just grew up and started learning the behavior they were seeing around them.
Very key, very key. There's a part of this conversation we're going to be talking about. There's a saying that we have to walk the talk as parents. So you have to model what you want your children to
Exactly.
be or your children to
Exactly.
do. So definitely, we're going to get to that part of this conversation. But I like the part that you said it was easy. So I think for parents that are watching, puts them at ease. It's going to be easy because most times it's a lot of people like I don't want hard work. I don't want hard work. So it just makes it easy, and I think it's going to bring a lot of calmness to some parents right now. That it's going to be an easy journey. It's going to be an easy task, so I can actually do this. It's very important.
Yeah.
Now it is said that in the formative age of children, you can easily teach them things because they are
Exactly.
malleable. So you can mold
Mm-hmm.
them to the shape you want them to be molded into. Now the question is going to be in two phases. What age
Okay.
exactly do you start the journey of developing a reading culture in your child? Is there a particular age? Do you start when the child is in the womb? Do you start when you have given birth to the child? Is there like an age range?
Well, I would say start as early as possible. Start from when your child is even a baby. You can have board books you read to the child, and then over time, the child gets to relate with books. This is something pleasurable. Mommy reads this, jumping and making some funny faces from the book. Like you said, these children, their minds are like sponges. They absorb all of this. They absorb, and over time, it builds up inside of them, and the behavior is learned. So, what I would say is for anyone trying to introduce reading, you start as early as when your child is a baby, as when the child is a baby, yes, you introduce because this is a behavior You want to see a change over time, and you don't want it to seem as a chore. You don't want it to see as something very difficult. So for it to come naturally, you have to expose the child constantly to that behavior you want to see in the child, and then it is possible. So as early as
Possible.
a baby
And,
stage. Yeah, very as a baby
you,
stage.
most times then when we used to watch these movies, like American movies, not Nigerian movies, we actually see when parents try to talk with their children in bed and they try to read them books. And then I'm
Mhm.
wondering, our Nigerian parents at least try. And I think those parents are deliberate because it has to do with a lot of intentionality.
Yeah,
A
intentional.
little baby that may not understand what the mom is really trying to say. They read stories to the child. They start teaching the child. And you see, some of them cannot even sleep except you read a book to them. So I think, like you
Mhm.
said, start as early as possible. Then
Yes.
for parents that did not start as early as possible. Now, some parents already have teenagers or preteens in their house, and they didn't start this journey on time. What can they do now?
Okay, for parents that didn't start that early, like I would always say, you have to model the behavior you want to see in your child. And many a times I notice that parents use go and read your book as some sort of punishment. Maybe the
Yes,
child is engaged in a play or watching a movie. You've been watching, look, I read your book. Nothing is happening. I teach. I see a lot of children. Sometimes I just give them a book and they are off because it wasn't a part of them. They didn't grow up like that. But for parents that have children right now that are grown, what I do in my reading club is I try to create fun activities around books. If we're learning a particular concept, we take that concept out of the book. If it's something we see that has to do with maybe water cycle, we take it out of the book and try to see how we can do hands-on activities on it, like for children in the primary school. Now, for children that are already grown, well, what I would say is the first thing is to actually you have to do a lot of talking at this stage because that formative stage is very, very important. And many a times there are some behaviors, some personalities are already formed, some behaviors are already part of this our teens. Yeah, so it's more of talking to them and making them understand, oh, it is actually important that you should do this. But I think one thing parents fail to understand is children will do what they see you do and not mostly what you tell them to do. So a lot of parents today, I know because of economic situation and all that, we are working round the clock. But even if it's your Bible, I will always say, even if it's your Bible, let them see you read something. Let them see you connect a pleasure to books that you're actually reading for fun and not because it's some sort of a punishment.
I like the point of not using reading as a form of punishment. When we're growing up, most times I think that's what our parents do. Go and read your book. So and and it tends to be frustrating because it looks like I don't want to read this book. No, I don't want to read this book. And I think when we do it as a form of punishment, it even deters the children to even want to read because there's no fun around it. I like the point of making it fun. I
Exactly.
teach, I teach, and I've noticed that the learners I teach or the students I teach, they don't like reading. It's like hard work. Anything aside reading is fine, but when it comes to books, it's a lot of work. And I believe that when we present things in a better manner to children, they'll be able to, or they will want to accept it. So reading is
Okay.
seen as punishment, hard work. And most of the times, I
Yeah.
think we've limited reading just to academic work for parents. Everything has to be summed in academics. Just read your books, read your books, read your books. The children haven't tired of hearing, read your books. And like you said, the parents telling the children to read their books and not even reading their own books. So it looks
Mm-mm.
like you're telling them to do something and you're not even doing it. Now, I read
Exactly.
something somewhere, and she said, Farida Ladipo Ajayi, she said, the
Okay.
founder of Bookworm Cafe, she said, to develop a reading culture, parents and caregivers must stimulate children in that direction, provide them books, and importantly, let them read for fun. And that's exactly what you've been saying.
That's the
You
key
must
word.
provide them books. Yes, yes, exactly. You can continue and let them read for fun.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Okay, like I want to say something. Something happened while my children were growing up. Then it got to my boy. You know, there's this thing we always say: boys don't like reading books. Yeah, boys are more, they are more physical, they like to play, they like to jump, they like sports and all that. But then I looked at him like, hey, you're a boy, it doesn't make your brain any different. You can read. Now I noticed that I got some books. He wasn't really interested in those kind of books. That's another point I want us to note. He was not really interested in those kind of books. And there was this particular book I got. I think the title was Captain Brainstorm. Think a Bill Cosby book, a collection like that. And then every time you tell him to pick up a book and you don't read it, he will always pick up that book. But we had so many books in the house. So at some point, we usually do book reviews. You teach them how to uh, review this book. They know the characters, they know the author, they know the illustrator, and then they summarize. And then you tell me what are the words you learned from the book, and then what did you learn from the book? That's very important. You read a book, what did you learn from it? And then I do videos. We post the videos on Please Review page on Instagram. So he noticed that he had just one video all the time, and everybody has been doing so many videos, and then I attached reward to it. I feel like I don't have any reward. I said because you have just one book you're reading. So what I noticed was that their interest also comes into play. The kind of book. So I got a collection of Horrid Henry books. Horrid Henry is more of a boy character, and then I saw this reading coming out from him gradually, and over time he extended the passion to reading the books he abandoned for a long time because he now saw, oh, there's actually other books that are interesting, and that was how he was able to read that. So their interest also. We have a lot of books for teenagers, although it's wise for parents to actually go through the content of what they are buying before they allow them to read. Yes. The interest is also very important.
So for a parent that has about three children, they're definitely children are different. Now, how does the parents, how would the parent be able to spot what kind of book every one of those children would like? How would you know what kind of book would be your child would be interested in? How can you do that? Is it that you just
Okay,
keep telling them?
well, for me, like when I started buying books, I didn't go to the shop like just stock up books. I love to read the content. I read the what it has at the back and then know what it's all about. And then what I noticed about my girls was that everything, book, pictures, it has pictures, they're ready to read. Until my boy came along and I noticed that, oh, interest actually has something to do with this. Now, one thing I would say is if you have three children, they're definitely not reading at the same level. You have maybe the ones that are younger that may need more picture books, more books with illustrations. And then you notice that some of our girls they like more of princesses. Most time books with just pink covers and you've just thrilled them. Yes, so most times you can talk to them. You can talk to them, but I mix up books with fiction. Books, facts, you read facts books, you read science books and all that. The thing is, once you've caught their interest, whatever printed material, they will be eager. They want to read, they want to know. So that's
Okay.
just it.
Okay,
Mm.
okay, that's fine. And the words of caution or advice you just give to parents, especially for those that have teenagers, that they should learn to go through the books that they want their children to read is very important because I know there are a lot of books out there now that the
Yeah.
content are not content that want our
Okay.
children to be exposed to.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we have to pay attention to go through the books we buy for our children so we can validate them. If the content is the content you want your
Mhm.
child to be exposed to, because there are a lot of things out there.
Exactly.
There are a lot of things out there right now. So let's go straight to the
Definitely.
parents now. How can parents be creative? How can you be creative in developing the reading culture in your child? Like we're saying that we cannot make reading as punishment for our children. So how do you get creative? If you want your child to read, how do you get creative about it? Is it that you have to attach a gift to, if you read this book, I'm going to get this for you, like a sense of motivation? So how can we creative? What can we actually do to motivate our children to read books?
To read that, like right now for children that didn't start early, I would say that you could have, I sometimes I carry out a reading challenge. We have 30 days reading challenge. Even children that I don't see physically, sometimes we do it online. And then for parents, you can actually start it. You can attach reward. You can attach rewards. So what I did was I had a chat. I had a chat, and then in that chat, the number of books you read. What book did you read today? Now, what I use in checking it, like a checklist, you should be able to tell me some vital things in that book. So because some children could now say, "Oh, I've read this book, mommy," because they know that there's a reward attached to it. So yes, you can actually attach reward to it, and then you can also create a time out where you read with them.
Okay.
You read with them. You read with them. And the basic thing when it comes to building this reading culture is actually you being a reader yourself. Like I said, even if it's your business book, even if you're a business person, there are books on businesses, there are motivational books, there are inspirational books, there are spiritual books. You can also read. I know they see daddy and mommy reading something. Yeah. So that's one way they can quickly learn that reading behavior you want to see in them. That's one way. And then you can attach rewards. Now, there's one thing we do when it comes to reward in psychology. We have the one we have like when you're placing a ratio, maybe per response. I could say, because you may not be giving that reward every day. So you could say that at the end of 5 books, you get this reward. And then the next time they read 5 books, say, "Oh, we are stretching to 10 books." So it doesn't look like at every point you get the answer you want, you are rewarding. You can also stretch it that way. I tell them, "Oh, this time is 30 days." It gives you, so even if it's a gift you're going to buy, you have 30 days. And you see everybody putting their head over the house. Everybody wants the gift. Everybody wants the gift. Yes, so you can also do that.
Wow, wow. Good
Make
way
it
to.
fun. Let it not be. It shouldn't be when the child is playing. You say, "Go and carry your book." You know what you're supposed to say. Yeah, it shouldn't be. Shouldn't be, because what you're teaching the child is, my mommy wants me to read as a form of punishment. I'm playing too much, so I should go to my book, and then they just go stare at the book, and so it's like they are fighting with the book. What is this? Why are they forcing me to read this? Yes, so you can attach a reward to it. And I bet you it's fun when you see them trying to meet up to your expectations. It's fun. It's fun.
Wow, wow. That's nice. So parents, we need to read. We need to we need to develop the reading culture ourselves. Because if we don't have that culture, we can't really impact it in our children. So as parents, you need to read too. Like you say, if it's your business book, let your children see you read. So they know that, okay, my mom reads, my dad reads. So it's not like it's something that you do in your home. So it's easy for the children to copy. You know, there's I read somewhere that children learn faster based, like you said, the social learning theory. They learn by observation, by what they see. So most times children do what they see you do, not necessarily what you tell them to do. So you may be having
Yeah.
a hard time trying to get your children to read. Do you read? Do you read yourself? So if you want to model the behavior you want to see as parents, is very vital. Now, it's normally said that children thrive under structure, under a structured environment. So they strive under when there's a routine, when there are rules, so you can help develop habits for them. Is there a way that parents can create a structure of reading in their homes? So I don't know, maybe like a timetable or something. So we know that you're supposed to be reading so amounts of book by this period of time, or you're supposed to be reading this part of time of the day you're supposed to be reading this. Can children be put under a structured environment to help them develop the culture of reading?
Okay, well, to answer that, I read a book sometime, How Habit is Formed, and many a times is doing something the same way, the same time, and then it becomes a routine. Now, for parents listening, you want your children to actually start reading. Maybe they've not been doing so, and then you bought books. You could actually, and one thing they should do is involve them. If you're trying to draw up a timetable, let them be involved. Let them be, this is for you. We're doing it together. It's not like you're doing it for them. We're doing it together. So you can draw up a timetable and then you ask them, make them to be actively involved in the decision making. You want to start reading. What time do you feel will be convenient for you? Would you want us to read before you go to bed, maybe when you're trying to relax? What time are we going to set for our reading? How many hours are we going to set for our reading in a day? On weekends, how many times, what maybe on Saturday after washing, we'll rest and all of that. And then another thing is you can actually create a reading nook, a reading corner. You can set out a place that you can put up some teddy, some play items, maybe put some pillows, and then just create a reading corner. And everybody knows when everybody knows when I structure that reading behavior.
Okay. I like the part of a reading corner. You know, you can imagine if you have a reading corner in your home. When you get there, it's like your system just adjusts, and you know that it's time to read. So I like the part of getting a reading corner where your children just know this is the environment. So
Automatically.
yeah, there's something the body just adjusts. Like this is where we read. So there's just like it's like when you walk into your office, there's this mindset. I don't know. It just comes to a point that I'm ready for work. Your body is fine tuned that this is work environment. So it's very good if we can try and create a reading corner for our children, for ourselves. So the body automatically aligns with the fact that I am set to read. It's very, very, very important. I like that point. So what does reading do to what does reading need to the cognitive, the emotional or psychological development of a child? Are there benefits, or we just do it because we want our children to read? What? Oh, we lost her. We just lost our guest, and I believe she'll be able to connect soon. So I'll just do like a recap. And before I forget, if you have questions, you can drop them on the comments box. We'll try and see if we can attend to some questions today. So if you have questions, you can drop them. Now, she said some things about you need to know what kind of books interest your children. Now, you can find out. My daughter likes, there's a particular book. She has some books, but I know there's a particular book in the house. That's the book she likes to read all the time. She never gets out of reading that book. And anytime she wants to read, she tells you, Mommy, please, I want to read my book because she loves that particular book. Welcome back. Okay, I guess it's back. Okay, so we can continue. So are there benefits, psychological benefit, cognitive benefits, emotional benefits attached to reading?
Definitely, there is. When we talk about psychological benefits, I would like to give an instance of um, confidence. It builds self-confidence. Now, I taught my 3-year-old how to read. My 3-year-old started reading, and then by age 5,
Oh, we've lost her again. We've lost her again. We believe that the network will be favorable so that we can get the full package, from her. So I'll continue. So there's a particular book she loves to read, and every night, Mommy, I want to read this book. And sometimes I'm like, there are other books in this house. Why don't you read the other books? Even if you get her new books, she loves that particular book. And I think probably because of the pictures, because it's very illustrative. The doors, if you knock on the doors, you can actually open the doors in the book. So it shows me that there's some kind of books, if I want to buy for her, I have to be very vigilant to buy those kind of books for her because those are the books that interest her. So we must know the interest of our children. Okay.
okay. So I was talking about self-confidence. It builds the
Okay.
confidence of the child. Now, what happened was my 5-year-old, she started reading very early, and by the time she got to grade 1, a lot of the as our mates, they had to read for them before they write their exams, and then I just saw this confidence in her, like I can read. And then she had this because she could read, she some most times she reads to
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, the network. Wow, the network, the network, the network, the network. She'll be back. She'll be back. Okay. So now she said something about parents getting involved in reading with their children. One of the ways you can do that is for you can read your children bedtime stories. It's not a tradition of the whites. You can actually imbibe what is good. Now, your children, you can have in your bedtime routine of your children. One of the what you do in the routine may be that you read your children when they get to their bed. You read them a book, so you get involved in the process. She's back.
okay,
We pray
my
the
network
network.
seems
We pray it's
okay.
gonna be stable.
Okay,
Okay.
so one psychological benefit is confidence, and then when we talk about the cognitive aspect of it, now Jean Piaget talked about the cognitive development of children. I said our cognitive ability grows from the pre-operational. We have the operational. We have the concrete operational. Now, what reading does is it actually supports the process of this cognitive development. It helps in
Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah, the network will be favorable. She'll be back. So, where was I? That's okay. Getting involved in reading. So you can actually read your children bedtime stories, and you can actually get your children to read to you, and you listen to them. It's part of getting involved in developing the reading culture. So you give your child the book and you tell the child to read. And please, when you tell them to read to you, please actually be present. When I mean present, do not be do not have give them divided attention. Don't be listening and you're doing something else. Give them your full attention. Okay, it's
okay,
back.
I don't know why my network keeps cutting off. Okay, so and then in the field of neuroscience, we talk about brain plasticity. Now, when a child reads, the child keeps gathering new information. The brain cells, new brain cells are being formed. And the child also, it actually speeds the cognitive process, their thinking and problem solving skill. Now, when we talk about emotional development of benefit of
Whoa. Okay. Now she actually said reading will help to speed up the cognitive process. What do you mean? The brain activity, the ability of your children, their brain activity, it makes it development faster and make that development better. Now, if you find out most children that have a reading culture, they are able to solve problems because you expose them to a lot of things. You know what books, the world of books exposes you to a lot of things and it builds your brain, it builds your problem solving skill. You are exposed to a wide range of information. Welcome.
Okay, so when we talk about the emotional aspect, one thing I know that reading does for children is it helps them to build empathy. They are able to understand that people have feelings. When you read books, you know that a child was actually bullied. They get to relate with people's feelings. They understand that they also have feelings, and they are able to, like when we say empathy, they're able to put themselves in other people's shoes. So if I do this, because one thing I do with them when they read is, what did you learn from the story? There's always something to learn from each story. Most books, the character.
Empathy. Now, we're going to be letting like this for today. And please remember, if you have any question, please you can drop on the comments box. I can see a lot of comments here. Yes, I can see a lot of comments. And before I continue, thank you for joining us. I can see Imejon, Eddie Kofason, thank you. Frank Auto Fidelis, thank you. I can see your awesome comments. Now, like you said, reading can help our children develop empathy, putting yourself in the shoes of others. Now, a child reads a book about bullying and finds out, okay, this child was bullied and this was the end result. This was the emotional damage done to the child. So the child has learned something. The child has been impacted with a value. You need to be able to respect people. You need to be able to treat people right. So books can do a lot for our children, can teach them values, can teach them morals. Okay.
Okay. I pray to stay on this time around. Okay. Still closing this app immediately. Okay. So I was trying to explain what books can actually do to the emotional development of children. It builds empathy skills.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you. So there are a lot of benefits that attached to reading books. Now, if you know these benefits, then definitely you want your children to develop this culture. Everybody wants something that is good for their child. You want something, you want your children to be involved in something that's good. So if reading, developing the reading culture in your child, we give them emotional balance. We help them develop values. We help them develop morals. We foster lifelong learning. We enable your children to grow into innovative people. So their mind is open. They are more creative. They can explore. You know, you can read a book and you can get into another country inside a book. So you learn about the ethics. You learn about the traditions. You learn about the culture of a lot of people. So it builds your interactive skills. So when you meet people, you can interact. It builds your confidence. So you can meet people and you can talk. You can speak. So reading culture has a lot of importance to play in the life of our children. Okay, welcome back, Pedro.
Yeah, thank you. Um, my phone is acting up actually, and I guess
Oh,
that's
so
why it's
sorry.
going. Okay, yeah, let me see how far I can go.
Well, oh, the network is gone again. Okay, so I'll continue. Now it helps, you know, what another thing reading does for your children is it develops their vocabulary skills. Now your children are exposed to a world of new words. Remember she said that in our club, so she gives them books to read. She asks them what words they learn. And before you know, they can use a lot of words. Now they know a lot of synonyms. They can speak boldly in places because they have a wide range of vocabulary. They have a well vocabulary, so they can express themselves better. The reason why most children have some they're shy to talk in the public. Some children don't know how to express themselves. They don't know the right words to use. So reading can help them with that. Okay. Okay. I think we can continue. Okay, so um now when it comes to reading, you know, most parents, especially when it comes to school period, some parents feel that, or let me rephrase. Now, is it possible for children in a school section for them to be able to read both their school books and other books? Okay, she'll come back and she's going to ask us our question. So basically, the question is most parents want their children to focus basically on just their school books during school periods. Now, is it possible for a child to be able to have like a routine where during the school section, where in Nigeria is about 3 months, the child can also be able to read the academic books and also read other books that can help teach the child a lot of other things. Is it possible? Now, for those of us out there listening to us, is it possible? Do you think it's possible? Do you have like a routine for your children? They can actually read school books and they can read other books, or they just focus solely on school books during the school section and every other book does not count? Is it possible that you can have your children do both? Read their school books priority during the school section and also be able to read other books that can add value to them. I believe that it's proper planning and managing of time. A child can do a lot of things when you expose them to time management. Now, definitely during the school period, they can focus basically on their school books, but there are little other books that they can read that can help them even that can help them perform better academically. When a child, for example, reads a book on time management, the child knows, okay, I need to be able to manage my time and prioritize my time and fix my books on this time and do this certain time. So it builds a sense of being able to manage time properly. So I feel that even if during the school sections, yes, they should focus majorly on their school books, but during the weekends or some other free time, they can read some books. And during the holidays, you can expose them to a wellspring of other information or other books which will be beneficial to them. So let's get Hedge's opinion on this. So I was asking for parents during the school section, is it possible that during the school section that children can also read other books apart from the academic books? Is it possible for parents to work at a plan where it's not like I said, Nigeria, we have like 3 months for a term, an academic term. Now, is it possible that in that 3 months, even as well as they read the academic books, they can also read other books that can help even improve their academic performance in school?
Definitely, yes. I would say they can because, well, if I want to use my children as an example, they read books. Um,
Uh-oh. Oh, wow. Wow. Network. Okay. So let's continue. We'll continue. We're going to continue. Now, Van said that there's a question I really wanted her to talk on, but when she comes, if the network permits, we're going to take that question. Now, how some parents online are teachers. Now, there's a role I believe that the teachers can play in assisting parents in developing this reading culture in children. I believe that the schools and the teachers can come up with reading competitions like spelling bees. Now, please, when you have such competitions, do not keep your children away from them. It can help build your children up
okay,
also. Okay.
okay, so as I was saying, yes, they can read books while the school session is on. Now,
Okay.
I would ask, do they watch television while the school session is on? If they read for pleasure, it doesn't really have anything to do with their academic work because they watch television for pleasure during school. You don't tell me your children don't watch the television all through the term until the term is over. So reading shouldn't hinder their academic work. Neither should their schoolwork actually have anything to do with the books that they read. But there should be a balance. They shouldn't be abandoning their school books completely because they want to read for pleasure. No, you should be able to read your books. You have assignments to do. There are books you read. There are books you read for pleasure. You just pick them up and then you lie down. And then there was a time my daughter, when she was 6, she said, "Oh, I can't sleep." And then she goes to the bookshelf and picks up a book. And what are you trying to do? She said, "I want to read myself to sleep." It could be on a normal school day because it's something they see as it's a normal thing, and it has so helped them transitioning from fiction books to their school books. So when they sit down, sometimes I come in maybe 8 p.m., 7 p.m., they have tests the next day, they have exams the next day, and then once they come in, sometimes I meet them reading, even to the one in grade 3. I meet them reading, have you read your books for your exam tomorrow? And then I'm just okay, like they have read. And I've not had any issues with results and all that. They have read, they know that this is a note you came with, maybe it's a basic science note. You should have read it, you know it. It has helped. Like when I do the summary with them, and then I notice that it helped them because when they come in with school books, maybe they have a test the next day, they relate with it like they're reading fiction books, like they read their normal story books, and they are able to make meaning from it because they understand what they are reading. So
Wow. So
it helps them in
wow.
their academic work. Yeah, it helps.
Wow. So not that you have to change children. Don't you know you have tests tomorrow? Go read your books. So they know exactly. Wow, is that's very impressive, very impressive. I like the part you say your daughter wanted to read herself to sleep. Read yourself to sleep. Most
Yeah.
children wants to watch the movie. When they watch the movie, they fall asleep on the couch. So it's really a good culture we can develop in our children. Okay, we're going to be we'll be wrapping up soon. So I want to ask a question. What is dyslexia? So parents don't. What is
Okay.
dyslexia?
Yeah, dyslexia is a neurodevelopmental condition, and it has to do with an inability to read. It affects reading. It affects spelling. I have some children that I attend to that uh, actually they've been diagnosed of dyslexia, and I know how difficult it is for them to actually crack the reading code. Yeah, I use crack the reading code when I'm helping children to learn how to read. Now, learn how to read doesn't necessarily mean teaching them how to, like, you sit down, children that can read already, they find it difficult. It is challenging for them to actually read, to combine these sounds together and make meaning of it. Many a times they have letter reversals, they, and a whole lot of things that are uh, related to the condition. But basically, it affects reading, it affects spelling.
Knowledge is really key in a lot of things because I believe some parents may have children with this condition and they may think that the child is just being stubborn and doesn't want to read, whereas the child may have this condition. Now, but I believe that it's possible for such children to be able to be helped or for their parents to be able to do something to help them develop this culture. So yeah, the professionals, because a lot of things when it comes to conditions like this, it takes you seeking the help of a professional to be able to help you. And
Exactly.
I
We have reading.
wow, it's a lot. So for parents out there, sometimes a child may not be able to read or spell, may not be a pointer that the child is just being stubborn, or the child is just being like, I don't want to read or something. It may be a pointer that maybe the child may have a dyslexia or something. Sometimes we may go the extra mile to find out and ask questions to help us so that we don't start punishing children for things that may not necessarily be their fault or something. So
Exactly. Exactly.
let's go for
I
yes, I keep advocating that parents should go out and seek for knowledge. Read books, ask questions. Don't parent by default that this is the way our parents raised us up. So this is the way it must be. Read books, get knowledge. There are seminars, attend if you can. Sometimes if you need to pay for seminars, do that. It's for the benefit of your child and for you also. If it's working for your child, it's working for you. So it's very key. Okay, if you have any questions, please can still drop that. Now, we're going to be wrapping up right away. Tonbara, thank you so much. Now, do you have any general advice for our parents out there, the ones watching and the ones that will still watch this video? Do you have a general advice for them on reading culture, anything?
okay. What I want to tell, like I have said from the beginning, is we have to be reading models ourselves. We have to read even if it's our Bibles. And then for our children to actually become passionate readers, we have to create a print-rich environment. What do I mean by that? We should buy books. The way we feed their stomach. I came up with a slogan a month ago, feed your brain in my house. And then I could just walk past one child and I asked the child, have you fed your brain today? And what I mean is, what have you learned that is new? And where do you get all this from? Many a times it's from books. It's from books you read. So we should buy books. Parents will say, oh, they will tear it. Yes, the food we give to them, they go into the toilet. Yes, they are growing. But when we buy books, they are feeding their brain and they are growing. They are
Very.
growing. I was telling a child yesterday when I was doing an assessment, and I told the child, "Do you know that if our phones are having megabytes, our brains have trillion bytes, like a whole lot of memory capacity that we've not even used? So you just have to keep feeding your brain. Your brain has plasticity. It's not like it's going to expand, but it has ability to keep learning new things and growing every day. And then you become super smart. And then we should motivate these children. Let's motivate them. Motivation is key. Talk to them, make them see reasons why they should read, what reading will actually do for them. And then we should try to reduce screen time. I do that a lot. We don't watch TV until Friday on school day. My TV shut down, and then when my child was the last was about 3, and then I did it to her. I didn't take it like, oh, you're because the older ones will get distracted. So I didn't
Yes.
say, oh, because you're 3. And then every day she ask you, mommy, it's today Friday. And when eventually it's Friday, she will not shout, "Hey, thank God it's Friday." That means she will watch TV. It has helped a lot. It has helped a lot. I have a lot of testimonies of what reading has actually helped my children to achieve. Like one of the things I said is I don't have to start forcing them, go and read your book for your exams. They know that reading has to be done for me to write my exams. So
Thank you. Buy books for your children, motivate them, reduce screen time. Very important. Now, if you Tonbara Adepeju is an educational psychologist. She's a reading interventionist. Now, if you need consultation, you have questions regarding your children concerning their reading culture and the rest, you can contact her. You can send her a DM. I've dropped the Facebook name and our Instagram. You can follow on Facebook and Instagram. I just dropped it on the comment section. So you can see it there. You can send her a DM. Just ask her any questions you need to ask her. But she's a consultant, so in case she's gonna you can pay anything with your children. So please send her a DM. She's a professional in this field. So you definitely will get answers to your questions. So I've dropped her Facebook and Instagram handle on the comment section. I'm going to do that later on our Facebook page. So please, we can follow her. Please do follow her. Yes, follow her on Instagram. Like a page on Facebook. And if you have need for consultation, please do that. Send her a DM. Very important. So thank you so much, Tumbaro. I've been educated today. Yes, I've learned a lot today, and I believe that the parents out there have learned a lot, and those that will still watch the video later on will learn a lot. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for the great work you are doing for the children. You are teaching for your club, your book club is a wonderful thing you are doing. Thank you, because daily you are trying to change the narrative for Nigeria. Soon as I believe we will not be ranked among the lowest country, the country that have the lowest reading culture. We will leave that level. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much. I do
my
appreciate.
pleasure.
Yes. So
Okay.
have a beautiful night. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So I believe we have learned a lot today. You can send a DM, follow on Instagram, like a page on Facebook. It's there in the comment section. Please, you can consult her. Yes, she's a professional in this field. Now I'm going to be wrapping up quickly. I'm going to read something. Nikki Vert said something, and I read. It says, "You are yet to catch up with the real world if you have never studied any concepts outside the school syllabus or read any book besides the textbooks school forces you to read. Most people are programmed, not educated." So if you have never read any book beyond your school books, then you have been programmed and not educated. Let's educate our children. Let's be intentional in developing the reading culture in there. Like you heard, there are numerous benefits attached to this: cognitive development, social development. They build their confidence, it builds their vocabulary. Please, let's be involved, and as parents, model the behavior you want to see. Become readers yourself. Read books. Let your children see you read. And do not use reading as a form of punishment. Make reading fun for them. Make reading interesting. Buy books for your children. Now we can spend money on buying food. We can spend money on buying snacks. We can spend money on buying games for our children. Please invest money in buying books for your children. Age appropriate books. And like she said, please go through the content of the books you're buying for your children to be sure that you're not exposing them to wrong information. You're not exposing them to wrong content. It is very key. So let us make an effort to educate our children. It has been a wonderful time today on SOP Online Conversation. Continue to follow us on our Instagram page and like our Facebook page. Follow us on our Facebook page. It's School of Parenting Figure 1. Thank you everyone for joining us. You can send us a DM for our School of Parenting affirmation, 30 days affirmation card. Cards that you can use to speak positive words into the life of your children, that you can use to teach them how to affirm themselves so that they can improve and be confident in themselves. You can build your self-esteem and their self-worth. So you can send us a DM to get your SOP 30 days affirmation card. I really want to appreciate everybody that came online today. For those of you that dropped comments, thank you so much. I'll call your name out again. Eddie Kufasa, Imed John, Reverend Christian Ahmed, Franca Otto Fidelis, Engineer Alex Kadim. For as many of you that have watched and have followed us today, keep doing the good work in parenting. Like we say, parenting is hard work. But definitely, if you're a parent, you have the ability and the capability to parent your children because God has placed it in you. God gives us gifts that has given us abilities to be able to manage. So keep being a good role model to your child. Keep doing what you need to do. And like I always say, spend time with your family, spend time with your children, and love, as I say, the quote is love is spelled time for children. So give your children time. We look forward to the next SOP online conversation. So before then, everything you've learned today, keep practicing them. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a beautiful evening. Bye, everyone.